Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position. You can live it if you ask. I'm them things in the air. If you got game, wiggle like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came in the way, you got game.
Hi there, welcome back to rbeats.com. I'm your host, Greasy Keys, with another episode of Local Music Somewhere. Thrilled to have in the studio today the alluring Aspen Asteria. Welcome, Aspen, to the RBeats studio. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Very cool, very cool.
I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. So you are a singer-songwriter based in and around Charlotte, who you've just released an incredible single called Carolina, right? Not only the music, but also an incredible riveting music video that goes along with it. But since you're here, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm from Waxhaw, North Carolina.
Let's go.
It's closest to Charlotte for the people who don't know. I grew up loving old Hollywood films. I just love like cinematic, really emotional music in movies, things that move people.
Yeah.
And you know, I've just been making music since I was like in second grade.
Right.
I think there was a poetry class that I attended, and that kind of changed everything for me. So I've been writing and making music since then. I released an EP when I was about 15.
Fantastic.
Yes. So I definitely, you know, I've been making moves for some time now, but I just finally just got to a place where I understood myself visually, sonically, and can kind of put it all together and be independent while doing so.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Well, good for you for that, for trying to and finding that vision for yourself and
Thank
sort of
you.
aligning all those elements, because for someone who's so young, I could see that can be kind of a challenge. People spend their entire lives sort of finding them about themselves and honing those elements. So that's fantastic. So you described some of your influences there, but who are some specific artists maybe that really inspired you early on and kind of got you into music?
Well, I gotta start with Miss Lana Del Rey. I gotta give it to her. She changed my life in so many ways. Her, Adele. I used to listen to Frank Sinatra during Christmas, so love him.
Yeah.
Nancy Sinatra.
Right on.
I really love David Lynch a lot. Yeah, I would say for sure though, like Lana, she really, I was really young when I found her, very young. I think I was like maybe like 10 or 11 or like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And just hearing how she was being so vulnerable, but also it was moving. It was moving, and it also was like modern meets nostalgia, and that was something that I was really drawn to. And her lyricism just really made me feel seen as like a young girl. I don't know why, but yeah, she's someone who I look up to for sure. And then with Adele, I really love her music a lot. It was just very emotional, very timeless. And then with David, I love his movies so much. They're insane and amazing. And I just love how he just kind of meshes all these worlds together and leaves this like haunting experience. And yeah, ultimately, I would say Lana's definitely at my top.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I know she's been a big influence on a lot of young people, and like you said, her lyrics really touch on a lot of modern subjects, and in a lot of modern sort of lingo.
Yes.
You know, and it's kind of out of left field for the average songwriter.
Yeah.
And like even her mood, like I'm really amazed how she can sort of keep this this sound and image without giving over to like the real pop
Exactly.
mainstream.
Exactly.
And not give in to she needs a dance track or she needs something
Yes.
upbeat. No, she just sort of lingers in this sort of mysterious, smoky kind of vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
about her. And she created her own lane. And that's what I love about her. And that's what I want to do
Yeah.
myself
Yes.
is create my own lane. And
That's a brilliant way to put it.
I also forgot to mention Florence and the Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love them so much. They're amazing. So yeah.
Well, you seem to be really proud of your North Carolina roots. What about North Carolina shapes you creatively in your identity?
So, I mean, I like to say I grew up in the South. I mean, it is the South.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize like how Southern North Carolina actually can be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like when I lived in like New York and LA, like people would either be like, "Oh, like you're from the South," or they would be like, "Oh, okay." Like, they wouldn't think, there's any, I wouldn't say culture here, but there
Right.
definitely is culture. I grew up in a like predominantly white area. I went to predominantly white schools.
Mhm.
So my influences and things I was exposed to were just a lot different, I guess, than, someone who looks like me.
Right.
So I would say my musical influences and even like cultural influences were just a little bit different. And ultimately, I love Charlotte. I love North Carolina. I love the farms. I love the nature. I think if you go outside of Charlotte, there's so much vastness to see.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Even in like the mountains and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the lakes. I used to go to the lake house with my best friend like over the summertime. So it was just like, I feel like I had like a real like American experience,
Mhm.
I really got to enjoy that. So I think, the food, it's not a fast city. It's not
really
a
not.
fast place.
Mhm.
So it's very slow. I'm used to crickets at night. I'm used to smelling the chicken farms. Like it was, yeah, like I used to live across the street from like a huge farm.
Right.
So, yeah, all of that. And my sister, she used to ride horses. So I
Yeah.
used to help her with that and kind of get to ride myself.
In the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So-
I know in some of your music videos and your imagery, you have yourself on some horses, and
Yes.
it's pretty amazing stuff. It's really
yes.
awesome.
Love horses.
That's awesome. So you honed your artistry in LA and New York City. So what's the biggest difference between LA music scene and the New York music scene for you?
I think that the genres are pretty big in terms of, I would say LA is more like pop or honestly, LA has a lot of different
Mhm.
music
Oh yeah,
types.
sure, absolutely.
I wouldn't say that it's, one way.
Right.
I would just say, however, that in New York, I found the experience to be what inspired me and inspired like what I want to write about and shaping who I am as a person. LA is a bit more like, glitz and glam, like kind of just like show up with something. New York is like, anybody can just go to New York and just exist and figure it out.
Right.
So I definitely think that LA kind of gave me the introduction into like, real live music industry stuff. I got to be in like cool music videos for like Rosalia and
Awesome.
some cool rappers, Tinashe.
Yeah.
So I understood like, what a set is. That's when I started like introducing to labels, stuff like that. But in New York, I would say like you kind of have to show up for yourself there.
Yes.
People aren't really like trying to like find you. It's like you have to like, be like, I'm here, and like listen to what I'm doing. You gotta show up with something.
Yes.
I think that New York just definitely taught me how to survive. Number one,
Yeah, a
it
little
definitely was
tougher.
not
Right.
an easy place at all, but it's one of my favorite places ever. In LA, I had to leave because it was too hot. There was no
Really?
rain.
No rain.
There's
Yeah,
no
that's
rain.
true. That, right.
So
The heat's a lot, huh?
yeah, the beaches are cool and everything,
seasons, right?
but I miss the seasons. I'm huge on seasons. So yeah, I definitely feel like, LA's a great place for having some of like, your top producers, your top,
You're right.
sets, all of those things. It's really creative. But I feel like with New York, I think there's a huge like R&B and like rap scene going on there right now. So I think that's why I'm kind of okay being where I'm at right now, is like I'm not really pressed to be in a certain city, because I think, just with my influences and who I am and, the kind of music I want to make, I don't think I have to be in a certain place anymore to like,
You really don't.
you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
To reach people. Right.
Exactly.
I love that. So you like to blend old Hollywood glamour with modern alternative music, like I said,
Yes.
Lana Del Rey. What did old Hollywood understand about music that maybe modern pop music has forgotten?
I think I would like to say romance and like the
fantastic.
essence of yearning.
Yes.
I hope that doesn't sound like
No,
corny or anything,
that's
but
great stuff.
there's just something very elegant and graceful about, even the production. And it's just a little bit more raw. People had to sing in one take, or, there wasn't, all this technology where you can just punch in
That is so
on
true.
a computer.
Right.
It was like there was a lot of, just really talented people. And I think, even like Technicolor, I think that's so important, and we lost that. Now everything is like in 4K and super hyper quality and all this stuff. But what I love about old Hollywood is just the glamour was it was just so beautiful. I loved it. I loved seeing people put time and effort into their looks, how they talk, the transatlantic accents. I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think the music was super. It was just like, I guess you could say more soul. Like it's something in the way that people would sing, and the way that they would kind of just narrate their own stories, if it's like a movie or like a soundtrack to a movie, or it's just their own album or something. I feel like people, I wouldn't say had something to prove, but in the way that I mean that is like how I said, you have like one take. You're not just, you could be in the studio all day. I don't know.
Exactly.
But, things were filmed, they had film, so they had to kind of like, do a full take, all those things. I'm not saying we don't do that today, but there was just a spark about, old Hollywood that I wish we could kind of, bring into modern day society.
Right. I think you make an incredible point, because back then, things were filmed onto film, a physical, actual product.
Yes.
It was not cheap. And you had to bring the talent, you had to put in the work and execute it. And not this, we can fix it in the mix, or we can punch in, which is a very common modern technique of, you make a mistake, well, we'll just hit the button and you do it again, or hit the button and it fixes it itself. So I think you make an incredible point about that era really demanded, and separated who was really artistic and talented versus who was maybe just superficial.
Exactly.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, your music has been described as walking through a black and white film that suddenly bursts into color. So how do you create that cinematic feeling in a song?
I think, not rushing things, like really sitting down and listening to every part of the production. If you need to rewrite lyrics, then you got to rewrite them. You can't just automatically be like, okay, this is done, like this is it. I think just really trying to take a step back and not, put yourself in the first person all the time. With my favorite music, that makes me be like, oh my God, I love this. Or like, oh, this is so catchy. Sometimes when you're writing music or you're making music, like you kind of get lost in, all this self-criticism and,
Absolutely.
you can't really hear what someone else might hear. So you kind of have to just slow down and take a second and, put yourself in someone else's shoes. You got to step away sometimes. But as far as visually and mixing that with the music, I have like, I don't want to say that I have like this really, creative eye, I guess, but I really take the time to study my influences, and I'll sit there and like watch movies like for references and kind of just see like, okay, how do I want to, shoot this scene to tell this story? And, shooting my own music video for the first time, that was really an experience, because I've been on sets where, everything's paid for, everyone, there's a producer, there's a director, all that stuff, but it was me doing it all this time. So
wow.
Yeah, I directed it, I produced it, I creative directed it, I did everything. I styled it, I did my makeup, I did my hair.
So the video for Carolina,
yes.
This is what we're talking about. You directed that video.
Yes.
Aspen, that is amazing.
Thank you.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you were going on, about doing your influences, and so continue on. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're totally
amazed. I'm just
fine.
amazed.
You're totally fine. Yeah. So I'm just, when I hear music, sometimes I see things.
Yes.
So, like actually, as I was writing the song, I was also like making the blueprint for the music video, because it was just kind of like I could see the scenes happening as I was writing.
Yes.
And I think like visuals are super important for me. Like I understand we're in like an era of like short form content. People want to see like performance reels and stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah.
To each their own. However, I really want to leave behind something that is just like timeless and also can move people visually as well as sonically. And directing that music video, it was harder to do it in person. Like, I'm playing all these roles. It's like I have to get myself ready.
Right.
I got to make sure everyone's here. I'm doing call times, I'm doing call sheets, I'm doing all this stuff. So, it was kind of a lot, but I'm really proud of myself for doing it, number one. And number two, I'm just really thankful that it actually played out, pretty decent.
Oh,
it could have been
very good. More than decent, I would say. No.
It could have been a complete,
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been.
Absolutely.
For sure. So I'm really thankful for everyone who was a part of it, and who signed up to be a part of it. Even Brady, he was such a key part.
Yes, Brady Atkins.
Yes. The one and only. He added so much to that, and it was just so perfect how everything came together, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm just really, really glad that I was able to do that. Lets me know that, okay, I know how to, execute a set or, a music video, I guess you could say.
Right. So talk more about, that team, that, that your creative community.
Yeah.
And how, how did you find those people, and talk about those relationships.
Yeah. So in my experience, when I first moved to LA and New York, I came to understand that a lot of people, either they'll pay someone to, shoot something for them, or people want to work with you in a collaborative effort. And I was really lucky, I got to learn over time how those relationships are built. And, sometimes when your budgets aren't big and, you need help with things, you gotta, ask for resources. You gotta reach out to people.
Right.
And, you hope that your work is, I won't say good enough, but, it entices people to want to put their name on it as well and, be a part of that. So for this situation, I was actually really nervous about like making this all happen because I wouldn't say Charlotte is the biggest like as far as photography, videography goes.
Right.
It's not like, an LA. It's not a New York in the sense of, how many people are out here, how many, resources there are. So I reached out to about 25 people before I actually got in touch with the person who put this all together.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah, I have to give a shout out to Fitz. He's the owner of Content Sunday, which is it's like a group of I think like four guys. They hold Content Sundays where they invite everyone in Charlotte to come out. If you're a photographer, model, singer, dancer, and they kind of just bring the community together. And I was just going on TikTok looking up like like Charlotte videographers, like Charlotte photographers. And some people were just like, absolutely not. Like, I don't, like, some people just ghosted me, didn't reply. And then, he just was super enthusiastic and he responded to my email like very fast and was like, yeah, I'd love to be a part of this. Like, I have a group of people that would definitely love to be a part of this project. Like, let's do it.
Fantastic.
So, we spent about like, I would say 3 months meeting up like, once a week or like once every 2 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Kind of just putting everything together, seeing like, okay, who's going to be on the team, who's the AD, who's going to be the direct, like all those types of things.
All the roles, yeah. Fill them in.
So it was definitely a time. A time was definitely had to get this all together. And I was just really lucky to have him as a resource because he knows so many people from doing Content Sunday. He actually just did a short film that's going to be in some type of film festival. So
fantastic.
He's really cool. But I was really, really grateful to see how he kind of just put all these people together for this project. And, I got down to the point where I was like, I'm going to need a love interest. I was like, I know what I see in my head, but I don't know how many guys either want to be a part of this or are have the look that I'm going for. Yeah. So it was like maybe like 5 or 6 guys that we were like, okay, like let's try. But it was like in my heart, I was like, no, like this isn't it. And then I was just like, wait. Brady, like I just text Brady and see, and he was so great, and he signed up for it, and I was just like, I was really, really thankful to see like I had to make a previs for this, which is like where you like kind of make a mock music video, but like digitally, and then we had to like go to the park. Act like we're doing the scenes, kind of get the shots together. I had to make a shot list, like your basic mood board to, all these different steps.
Fantastic.
And I learned a lot. Yeah. Like I didn't know all this went into making a music video. I thought I could kind of just do a mood board, do maybe one walkthrough.
And honestly, even that I think would probably be overwhelming to most people.
Honestly, I would say like, I was a little bit overwhelmed, but I had such a good team of good people around that like they genuinely believed in like the vision and they wanted to be a part of it. And I think having like the right people around you is so important. Yeah. Like if people are there and they, are in it for just like money or they're in it for, clout, I think that's one thing. But when people are, proud of something and they want to help with the community, that changes everything.
I agree 100%.
So
that's great.
Yeah, I had a lot of support.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Aspen, we need to take a quick break here. A word from our sponsors, and we're going to come back and we're going to experience this incredible music video for Carolina that you directed, produced, and the results show. It's a riveting video, and I'm just excited to share it with the R Beats fam. So.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a short break. We're in the studio with Aspen Asteria. We'll be right back with rbeats.com. Stick around. Hi there, welcome to The Watch List, presented by DJ World Beats, hosted by me, Greasy Keys, in the R Beats VIP Suite, where we're bringing you the best of the best in live shows, streaming trends, indie pop, and much more. You can stream now on the all-new ROQ Radio on rbeats.com, where we're highlighting indie artists from all over the world, focusing now on hashtag local music somewhere and hashtag Charlotte. This month, we have artists that have earned cross-pollination into more than one stream, and we are proud to announce all the streams that our favorite artists have dropped on. Check it out right here on the R Beats Radio, Global Boutique Streaming and Media Network. Now, let's celebrate these incredible artists, kicking it off with Fall Lift and their song, All Salt. The incredible Paper Pills with their jam, Shampoo. John Mark McMillan with his song, Ancient Love. Uwadi with I Wonder What We're Made Of. Sue Song with their jam, Broken French. Search Party with Trembling Hand. Teleportation with Gold Under the Sun. Chris Tapp of the Cold Stairs with Standing Against the Wind. Tyler Bryant with his jam, Mama Like to Rock. Noga Erez from Penny Lane with this song, Against the Machine. And Sample the Great with Can't Hold Us. This has been Greasy Keys in the R Beats VIP Suite. Be sure to check out all of these amazing artists and be on the lookout for the next edition of The Watch List presented by rbeats.com. Peace.
To the front, there's welcome. I'm thirsty.
Na na
Yes, yes. The End, But Is It? That is an amazing music video starring Aspen Asteria. Fantastic. Way to go. That is just such an entertaining song and video that you've produced.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, I mean, even in the song itself, I mean, it's such a catchy tune. Who do you collaborate musically? Do you handle all the songwriting yourself, or?
Oh yeah, I definitely write all my music.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there will be a day where, you know, I collaborate with other people as far as, you know, writing goes. But I think I want to get, you know, a few good pieces of work like under my belt where it's just me, you know. And I have a lot of stories to tell. So like I definitely want it to be, you know, at least from my lens for, you know, just the beginning of my career. So as far as like producing goes though, I've had to reach out to a lot of people all over the world. Like the person who produced that lives in Italy. So
wow.
Yeah, I honestly I'm working with so many different people. The guy who's producing my next song is in London. So you know, it's like I definitely have to be resourceful and reach out to people, but you know, it's a fun process.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and here you are, you know, you're kind of anchored here in North Carolina, but you've got contacts all over the world making things happen with you. That's fantastic.
Yes.
It's great.
You got to be worldwide.
I love it. So you help bring Southern Gothic mystery into your music. So describe what is Southern Gothic and why does it matter?
That's a very, very good question. That's a very good question. Now, you know, I don't want to scare anybody, but, you know, in my experience, like I grew up in the woods, like literally in the woods. There were like 4 houses in my neighborhood and everything was just super spaced out. And things can get like quite eerie, you know. There's an essence of, you know, things that have happened over generations that, you know, you can kind of feel in terms of like energetically and stuff.
Sure.
I think that for me, through my lens, I've always kind of loved like horror movies. I don't want to sound crazy.
No.
But like horror and thriller movies, they're my favorite. I think, you know, there's just something about, you know, at least where I grew up, everyone kind of wants to show up, you know, all perfect and like put together and like smiley faces and stuff. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes in people's lives. And you never know, like, you know, what people are doing behind closed doors. You never know, like, you know, just who they really truly are. And I think for me, it's kind of bridging, you know, my own experiences. And, you know, I, especially like as a Black woman being in a predominantly white area, you know, it's a very interesting experience. So I think, you know, dealing with my own, you know, issues or, you know, mental anguish, I guess you could say.
Right.
And kind of just navigating that through a place it's very quiet. It's very, you know, like just very Christian, very, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of make it up, you know. You know, you have suburbia like a few miles down the road. It's a very interesting lifestyle and place to be. And I think just kind of bridging the worlds and things that I've seen on like movies and stuff like that, I think that's like my version of Southern Gothic, is kind of just showing what goes on behind the scenes. And that's why I love David Lynch so much, because his whole essence of, you know, what he makes is kind of, you know, showcasing these people who you would probably think, you know, have a great life or, you know, are, you know, picture perfect or perfect on paper. And there's all this stuff going on.
A lot of things going underneath. And also I love how David Lynch is not as cut and dry.
No.
You know, leaves a lot for interpretation. You know, kind of hanging endings, you know, like what really happened.
Exactly.
And yeah, which makes it really brilliant. So, so you went from Waxhaw, North Carolina to LA and New York, But what did small town Waxhaw, North Carolina, give to you that those big cities couldn't?
Manners.
There you go. Yes, that's right.
Manners for sure. That's a big one. You definitely got manners. It was just honestly the experience of, Waxhaw's a very small town. People, when I was living there, I think there were less than, it's either 3,000 or 5,000 people there. So it's a very, very small town. And being in that small town, and like I said, being around like farms and, just being in nature, and, growing up, I had to, kind of just like show up as my best. Like my parents wanted me to, represent them very well. So, I worked harder than, I probably had to, just so I could be, accepted and seen. But it just kind of showed me, that even in slowness and even in stillness, like there is beauty in that. I think a lot of people, artists and, people that are just in the industry, it's always like LA, New York, right? Like, you need to be in these cities and like, do what you got to do. But I think, there's something beautiful about being able to kind of sit with yourself and sit with your thoughts and, an open space where there's just like animals and, still air and all of those things. I really
I agree 100%.
Think it makes a huge difference. And, I've been able to, I think, like come up with some really cool stuff while being here as of recently. And, I think it just kind of gave me roots of just being, as I like to say, a Southern belle. So I definitely think,
no doubt.
But manners are a huge thing. Like Southern hospitality is a real thing. I hope people do know that, But yeah, I would say it just gave me a different lens on life for sure.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what holds the future? What's going on with you? What's coming up? Anything you'd like to promote or coming out? Or where can people follow you?
People can definitely follow me at Aspen Asteria. That's ASPEN ASTERIA on TikTok and Instagram. And then on Spotify and Apple Music, I am just Aspen Asteria. So what's coming up is I have actually some really cool stuff coming up. I have one single coming out soon that's called American Beauty, so everyone should stay tuned for that. I do have some other music coming out. I just need to like work out some kinks because we have some live instruments, so
fantastic.
That does take time. So I want everyone to just be a little bit patient with me because it's coming. But yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna put out some really cool projects this year. Definitely, probably more toned down visuals in the sense of like I probably won't be doing a whole production right now, but I will definitely be putting out some more music videos later this year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I know me for one, I can't wait to see them and to check it out. You just really already put a mark for yourself here in the community, and we want to continue to support you in that and lift you up because I love your vision, and like I said, I love you. Seem to be wise beyond your years, and know what you want to attain. So, wishing you all the best in that.
Thank you so much,
fantastic.
and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate it.
Very cool, very cool. Hey, this is Greasy Keys. We've been in our Beat Studio with Aspen Asteria. Please give her a follow. Check out her music on Spotify, on iTunes, and give her a follow on YouTube, TikTok, all the social media platforms, because she is a rising star who is going to make a huge impact. And we just want to wish her all the best. So
thank you.
Thank you for coming in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Take care.